You've been a leader in this issue. It was interesting to hear Senator Menendez do this, but is he a lone voice on the Democratic side of the aisle?
Well, I don't know about a lone voice. He's certainly the most prominent. He's someone we've worked with on this issue for many years and understands it very well. Look, here's the fundamental point that people have to understand. For example, the embargo and the Trump policies that sharpen the embargo, they don't cover telecommunications, right? The reason why there isn't Verizon, Sprint, AT&T, and all these other companies in Cuba is because the Cuban regime doesn't allow it. It's the Cuban regime that doesn't allow a Cuban farmer to sell food to people, a fisherman to sell fish. It's the Cuban regime that doesn't allow a Cuban to own a small independent business that we could freely commerce with. It's the Cuban regime that takes 10% of all the dollars relatives send to their families in Cuba, then forces Cubans to convert the remaining dollars into a worthless local currency and keeps the dollars in their own pocket for themselves. So there is no embargo on the Cuban people. If the Cuban people were allowed to freely commerce and open independent businesses, they could do so. The only embargo is on companies that are owned and controlled by the Cuban military. They just happen to own everything because they are Marxists, because they are socialists. And Marxism is about control. It isn't about prosperity. It isn't about security. It isn't about being better off. It's about dividing people and controlling them.
Senator, the Obama administration, they tried to normalize our relationship with Cuba in hopes that that would help. But what impact do you think that had?
I think it emboldened them. But more importantly, here's the impact that it had. I think it actually opened some people's eyes, including people on the island of Cuba, because they saw, okay, here's the United States allowing this, that, and the other to now happen. And what people don't understand is we can decide to open up all we want. It's the Cuban regime that allows how much of that opening they allow in. So they said, thank you for sending us tourists in the Obama opening. They have to go to the hotels that we control and that we own. Thank you for allowing more money to be sent to family members. We're going to take a 10% cut, and then we're going to force it to become a local currency so we can keep the dollars for ourselves and use it for our stockpile and for our purchases. So I think what was learned from the opening is they control how much of that opening reaches the Cuban people. That regime cannot allow the Cuban people to have prosperity. They cannot allow an opening to benefit the Cuban people, because the day the Cuban people can provide food for their own families and not have to rely on the government, they lose control over them. And that's why the people on the street aren't chanting for the end of the embargo. They're chanting, leave it at that, which means liberty. They know this is all lies, and they want an end to it.
Senator, anyone who's heard you talk about Cuba, here's the passion that I hear now. Here's the understanding that I hear now that our viewers hear. You and your family have lived it, have seen it, and you as a United States Senator now represent all of these folks. I feel like so many people in our country, so many young people, and so many colleagues of yours, mostly on the other side of the aisle in the House, don't understand it the way that you are so able to articulate it. And I wish people could hear more of how you explain the ills of socialism, because they want to bring it to our shores.
Yeah, because what happens is, look, I'm born and raised in this country, and I understand after 3, 4, 5 generations of being here, the only thing you know about socialism is that it's an interesting theory they talk about in school, and why can't we have a country where everything is free and people have all these things provided for them? But when you live and grow up where I grew up, literally surrounded by people, not just from Cuba, Nicaragua, now Venezuela, whose lives have been destroyed by socialism, whose families have been divided, then you recognize the signs of this even before it fully develops. And so when you hear, for example, people talk about there's an oppressor class and a victim class, you must give us power and some of your freedom so that we can empower the victims and go after the oppressor class. When they hear that, they hear Marxism, because that's exactly what Marxism says. It divides people into the capitalist class, the workers, you name it, whether it's identity politics here or that over there. Marxism divides people, and then it pits them against each other, and then it says only government can solve it. Give us the power, give us your freedom, and we'll provide security. You never get the security, and you never get your freedom back either.
As Sean mentioned, we've seen so many of these Cubans holding an American flag, wanting freedom. I heard you say in a recent interview, though, if the Castro regime encourages a mass migration, that Americans should see this as an act of hostility and act accordingly. So how does America provide real help to the Cuban people there so that they can enjoy freedoms like Americans have?
Well, one of the things I said yesterday is a couple of things. The first is that we can provide in the short term access to VPN technology, and the long term some satellite form of internet, so the people of Cuba can communicate with themselves and the outside world openly. Right now, the internet is shut down in Cuba. It's very intermittent. I keep getting videos throughout the day, but it's people that hit a hot spot somewhere near a hotel. They send it, but they've shut all that down. But we should call the Cuban regime's bluff. Here's the bottom line. We will provide humanitarian assistance. We'll provide vaccines, but it has to be distributed by the Red Cross or some non-governmental organization, not by the regime. Don't turn it down. They already have. And you know why? A, because it's embarrassing to them that they can't, provide for themselves and provide these things, even though they talk about having a world-class healthcare system. But the other is they don't want the vaccine for the people. They want vaccines for control. What they want to be able to do is say, okay, if you're compliant, if you don't complain, or if you're a loyal member of the Communist Party, you and your family get a vaccine. If you're not, you don't get a vaccine. They use everything like that. Access to education, access to money, access to food, travel benefits. All of these things they use as a weapon to control people into compliance. That's why they won't allow it.
Senator Rubio, I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show, because only somebody like you that fully appreciates the impact that this has can get that message out to warn our people what you have seen through your relatives down there in Cuba. So thank you for coming on and sharing this and being a leader on this issue.
Thank you for covering it, guys. I appreciate it very much.